Yeah, yeah.
You can't stop this shit. Can't stop this shit. Can't stop I can't. I ain't. They can't stop this shit. Yeah, stop this shit. Yeah, stop this shit.
Why they think I fall for just anything? Why would I tell lies? True Scorpio, truth stings. I don't see how people play with power like it ain't no rules. I'm not playing.
Hey y'all.
Hey, TheeEnicole, what's good, baby? What's going on?
Hey. So, you guys, brand new show alert. I have the pleasure of having my good old new found friend, the Alex W Leath in the building.
AKA magnetic repellent.
Yes. Yes.
Oh man, how you doing?
He's slowly becoming my partner in crime, guys.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm enjoying every minute of it.
So this is the new show that we're going to be doing, old school versus new school, you know. Now, it might be challenging because y'all know I don't really think like you new schoolers, but we're going to see how this thing goes.
Yeah, you got an old soul. You know what I mean? You're a historian. You study history. You know, so it may be challenging for you.
And not only am I old soul, I really feel like I'm a man trapped in a woman's body.
Really?
Because I don't think like these females.
Yeah, you sure don't look like it.
Thank God. Okay. Thank the Lord. So, episode 1.
Right.
Our first topic is, can a healed woman have sex with no strings attached? Or is she broken?
Wow. Well, do you want to go first? Because that's a tough one. You know.
I'll go first.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, ladies first.
So I feel that there's 4 categories, right? I feel like there's both sides of the spectrum for broken and healed, right? And I feel like some broken women can have sex with no strings attached. And I feel like some healed women can have sex with no strings attached. And then I think on the other side, a healed woman can mess up the situation and a broken woman can mess up the situation at the same time. So I think it's just situational.
Mm-hmm. You know, it's interesting for me, of course, historically, that, you know, women, their you know, heart is connected to their, you know, vaginas. You know, that's just the way it is. And it's difficult for them, the typical woman, difficult for her to share her body with a man, have him inserting himself inside of her and all that kind of stuff, and not get attached, you know. Now, for me, in my experiences, for what I've seen, I've talked to many women over the years. I'm a little up in age at this point. Of course, you know, I've been a man my whole life. That when women get hurt over and over again and constantly disappointed and all that kind of stuff, they kind of get cold. Their hearts get cold. You know, they kind of become rigid. They become more like men because it's the men that's doing this to them. So since they become cold and their heart, they put a wall up around themselves and all this kind of stuff. It's hard to penetrate that, but they still have
Literally,
needs.
huh?
Right? Yeah. But they still have needs, right? So they're like, okay, since I've been treated like this, I'm gonna treat y'all like this. Come over here, do what you got to do, and get out.
Let me speak to that real quick.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say I can agree because I've been hurt,
Yeah.
And the fact that I have a little girl, though, even though I've always been somewhat hard, she has really softened me. So I try not to be so harsh with her, but you're right. When it comes to guys, it's like, it is what it is. I'm not bending. I'm not compromising. It's my way or the highway type of thing. But that's not a good way to be.
Yeah, you're not bending. What, frontwards, forward? How you not bending?
Y'all see what type of show this is going to be. So you better stay tuned or you might miss something. Okay.
But children will soften you. But see, at the same time, a lot of these women that have multiple children by multiple men, and the men don't stay, they get colder and colder because they're like, what else do I have to do? I'm burying your children. I'm trying to build a home for us. And these guys are not staying. That's why a lot of times you have multiple kids, multiple women have multiple children or whatever. And it's not a good thing. It makes them cold because they're hurt. Hurting people hurt people. Yeah. And so when women get hurt like that to the degree where it's irreparable, they go out and start hurting men. Because then I've been hurt. I've been devastated, cheated on and everything like that. So, but, like I said, historically, biologically, women aren't built like men can do that. Because men, our hearts are not connected to our penises. We're just not wired that way. We can go out there now and just fall in some booty and not feel nothing.
No, be specific.
Yeah. Be specific.
Yeah, because you don't fall in the booty.
Don't gotta be very specific.
Yes. They would take that little soundbite and run with that.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
We gotta put a disclaimer up.
Fall in a woman. How about that?
That part.
Fall in a woman. But what's interesting, TheeEnicole, is that, and this is a little bit maybe off topic but on topic. After the civil rights movement of the late 60s into early 70s, after Dr. King was assassinated and so forth, the civil rights movement was still in high gear, but it kind of got sidetracked with the women's movement, the gay movement, the pets, let's save the pets, and all that was used basically to just distract from what Black folks really needed. And what Black folks was fighting for in this country. All that was a distraction from that. Not saying that women didn't deserve rights, that gays didn't deserve rights. It was all a strategic thing by our powers that be, right? Right. So what they wanted to do was breaking up families, separating families, and getting control of our children. So they started making it so difficult on men that women had to go to work. And once women had to start going to work, it started to break down the family structure. People that go to work a lot of times, they start having affairs in the offices. And
hold on. Say that again, because the screen went totally black.
Oh, it did? Yeah. I don't know if my audio did or not.
Yeah, everything went out.
Oh, okay.
Good thing we didn't go live.
Right, exactly. So
you said
when did it go black?
Saving the pets.
Yeah, saving the pets. And everything was used as a distraction from the civil rights movement, because every time Black folks start fighting for what we really want, they throw distractions our way. And that's not to say that women didn't deserve rights and gays didn't deserve rights and people shouldn't love animals. That, of course they do, but that was used as a distraction. And the distraction was mainly to make it so hard on a man financially that the women had to go to work to help out. And when women got to go to work, now people having affairs in the workplace. You got this great sexual revolution going on. Women feel free now because they got their own money and this kind of thing. And that lends to what we have today. It just snowballed from the 70s right up through now. So women like, listen, I'm free. I could bone who I want to bone. I got my own money. I got my own house. That's all you hear now, especially with our women. Okay,
It's terrible.
and that was a plan that was put in place specifically for that, because the government wanted control of our children, and with both parents out of the household, who's monitoring the children?
The television,
The
video
television.
games, the streets.
That's why it's called television programming,
Yeah.
because they're programming the minds of our children by
They call it that.
by getting the parents out of the house. And plus they're getting tax dollars from men and women.
Right.
So it serves a lot of purposes in that regard. But regarding the sexual revolution, that's why we find ourselves where we are today, with women being a little bit more open with sex, a little bit more colder, heartless, if you will. I mean, I've been thrown out after I performed. And I'm like,
he's so heartless.
oh,
So let me ask you this. So one, do you consider yourself fully healed or broken?
I was broken. I was very broken. I think I'm healed now, or as close to healing as you can be. I think we're never totally healed. I think we learn how to manage pain. Life is about managing pain. Because particularly now we're around these holiday seasons, right? Thanksgiving, Christmas, at this point that we're recording this, and a lot of people are melancholy around this time of year. They're losing relatives, they've lost relatives. Christmas isn't the same, Thanksgiving isn't the same, and so forth. So we always carry pain, and to me, life is about managing pain. You learn to live with things. You learn to be productive. You learn to function. You still learn to laugh and smile and so forth. But you're always going to have an empty place in your heart where you were hurt and devastated and missing people and things of that nature. So I think I'm as healed as I can be at this age. I think I still can love and be loved. And but other than that, I'm still I like to be active, physically.
I was about to say, wait, what?
I still like to be active. I still love, I love women, stuff like that. And and I'm still open to love and being loved. So I'm not so hurt where I'm going to block that. So
being that you're healed, can you have sex with no strings attached?
Yeah, I can. I've always been able to do that. Again, it's just, but I'll say this, TheeEnicole, and let me say this very, very honestly. I can do that, but I found out as I've gotten older, when you do love a woman and you do have feelings for her, the sex is so much better. It feels so much different.
Right.
It really does, because your heart is with her. You're kind of intertwined with her. You look at her, you like the way she looks, smells. You guys are sitting down, you're eating together. So it's different when you love a person than just coming over there getting a smash. You know what I mean? So let me ask you, since you've been through a lot in your life, are you broken or healed?
Well, to be honest, because y'all know how I feel about transparency,
right?
I thought I was healed, but if I be honest with myself, I might be a little broken. But I don't think that it's broken as far as like love. I think it's more so broken, like disappointed. You know what I mean? Like I had certain plans, so certain choices I made me not achieve those plans. So I won't say that I'm broken, because I'm not like sad or depressed or anything, but
well, can you just have sex with a guy and then throw him out?
That's kind of tricky for me. Like,
you tricking? What you say?
No.
You tricking?
Now
you selling that thing? You out here selling that thing? TheeEnicole, listen, audience, listen. Just a good woman here. Okay, I know her. So if she's falling down, if she's backsliding, please forgive her, Lord.
They can't afford it. They can't afford it.
On thee, Lord. Huh?
They can't afford it.
They can't afford it.
But no, like.
Okay.
I can.
And why? Why do you think that is? You can spend all this time sharing your body with a guy and then feel nothing. What, were you always this
Well,
way?
it's not like a regular thing for me.
Okay.
I think now I've been able to do it, and it's probably been once, but it was just I didn't want to get connected to him.
Okay.
I'm scared. So so I won't say that I'm broken because I don't feel broken, but I'm talking it out loud because I don't talk to anybody about this.
Right.
I'm scared of connection, a deep connection with a man now.
Because you've been devastated, disappointed, let down, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Well, do you believe it's still out there for you? That you can still find that?
So. I mean,
because you're a young woman.
I was gonna say it would be such a waste of all this woman that I have to offer.
That's what I'm saying.
But no, I mean, I hope that it is. I have faith that it is, but I will not settle. I have settled before.
Right.
And I will not do that, especially now that I have a daughter. So what's the word? Unfortunately for me, I was able to make the mistakes before I had my child. Wow. I made one, a major one, but she hasn't had to feel what I've went through. I try hard to not let her feel anything that I go through, but I don't know. I'm just
well. Is it? Are you settling by just laying down with somebody and feeling nothing, or you just an itch you need scratched at the moment and you treat it as such?
Okay, so we gonna get real raw, or
hey, feel free. This is me.
Okay, so at this point in my life, I might want it, but I don't really need it because I got toys. So I'll just do the little vibration and go to sleep because I'm really picky about who touches me. So at the same time, on the flip side, you still want that human touch though.
Yeah.
Sometimes. But I just feel like if you don't deserve it, I should not give it to you.
Yeah. And I understand that. I know a lot of women have toys and it's easy to deal with that. It's like men have a saying, I don't have to argue with my right hand. You know what I mean?
Not only that,
I don't have to
when I do have sex, they act crazy afterwards.
See, and that's this age we dealing with right now. Dudes just can't let go of nothing,
especially not this.
Oh, jeez. I wouldn't know, but these guys today, like I have said many times on podcasts and things like that, that these guys today are so emotional that they're more emotional than you guys are right now.
Carl Thomas.
And I'm not sure what it is, the food, the water, the what.
All of it.
Because soon as they touch y'all and y'all like, I don't think this is working. They sitting outside your job, they outside your house, they what
calling your phone, making fake numbers, sending you death threats.
Yeah, all this stuff. The way you looked at the camera, that happened to you.
Yeah.
Wow, that is bananas.
Me and my child, though.
Death threats?
To me and my child. That's too much. So why would I want to even not only play with my body, but play with my peace like that?
And some people just continue to play with it.
Yeah.
They say you can't play with people's feelings like that.
No, not at all. That's why they invented Lifetime.
Yeah.
Lifetime and what?
Hallmark
channel, and what's the other one with Oxygen?
Oxygen, right? Yep. All
those channels are dedicated to the people who play with people's feelings
and end up 6 feet under.
Yes, or in jail.
Or in jail. So TheeEnicole, it's difficult to navigate, but I like I said, I will say that in order for people, let me just say this. I've been out in the game, the pimping game, whatever. I'm not gonna go into a whole lot of detail on camera. Okay, but I've been out there in the pimping game, right? And I seen women just having sex with guys and feel nothing, right? But then they could go home to a boyfriend or a husband and have great sex and have orgasms or whatever the case may be. But these other guys, they're just Johns. They're just tricks. They don't feel nothing. And
Wait. Oh, okay, never mind. I was
Yeah.
about to be like, well, why? But you're saying the prostitutes.
Yeah, the prostitutes.
That's just nasty.
the call girl. But listen, again, is a prostitute a broken woman? Or is she just in a business of making money and using her body?
She broke, all right.
See? There you go. Now, are you judging?
No, because I know God, but I'm above it. I could now. Story time.
It's the oldest profession, TheeEnicole, and you know
story
it.
Time.
Okay, story time.
So yeah, I know my daddy is a preacher. Both my grandfathers are preachers, so I was not allowed to do nothing. So when I finally got out here into these streets, I told my parents I'm never coming back home. So once I got out here and I seen how hard it was and that life was not what I thought it would be being grown, I was in situations before where it was like, I need some money right now. And this guy had offered me, I'm not going to disclose the amount of money, but he offered me a nice bit of change. And I was like, I'm going to go be a hoe. and he came and got me, and we went to that hotel, and I sat on that bed, and he took his shirt off, and he had on a muscle shirt. And I looked at him, and I said, I cannot do this.
You ain't like them muscles?
He was a little older.
Okay. Nah, don't be insulting the older men now.
But just regardless, it was more than I think it was more than just his physical body. It was the situation. It was what I knew was supposed to transpire. And it just made me feel so nasty. And I was like, I cannot do this. Yes, I was a whole bunch of bitches and wasting my time and all that. But that's okay because you ain't getting none. Right.
But what about the women who, let's say they're not straight like prostitutes, because we know that's the world's oldest profession. Okay. But I've known women who were working their way through school, you know, to be professors and doctors and lawyers, but did that stuff on the side for extra money, paying for tuition. So they sell their bodies. I
was in school.
Yeah, so you must know stories like this. You know, they go out stripping or a call girl and they make all that extra money.
I just couldn't do it. I tried it. Yeah. I even tried to be the stripper too.
Yeah.
I felt like Diamond Players Club. I felt like everybody was X-ray visioning me, and I felt nasty then, so I couldn't do it.
I've talked to some good friends of mine, you know, as women, you know, and they've confided in me, a lot of my good friends that are women, and they said throughout their lives at times, and one friend specifically, she said, I've done some strange things for some change, you know. So,
I've been tempted. I can't judge because I've been tempted. The money was looking good. Right. I'm like, well, this all I gotta do. But it was more for me. It was like, first of all, like I don't even like you. And then it was just like, do I want somebody to be able to say I paid for that? No, I do not.
Right.
And then at that time also, I was like fresh out of the house. So I'm like, what if my daddy find out? Like, it was a lot that made me not go through with it. But I don't judge anybody because, I mean, it's the easiest thing that you could do.
Yeah.
But it's like, what do you want to deal with in your mind afterwards?
Yeah. And I just think for women to do that, your conscience kicked in at some point. You sit on that bed, your conscience kicked in. You said, there's no amount of money that I can do this for. Yeah. I'm out of here because I got to live with myself tomorrow. And if I got to look at myself in the mirror, I want to look at myself with pride, whatever. So at that moment, it kicked in for you.
Now, do I think back on it and think about the dollar amount?
I bet you do, you know.
But I can't do it.
But see, that's why I say that for the most part, women have to be broken. Because a lot of women, their conscience don't kick in. They've been so hurt. They've been so broken. They've been beat down for so long. Their conscience don't kick in. And they go through with the act.
Well, see, at that point, I hadn't been hurt yet. So I think that probably was that. I think that played a part in it too. Like, because I hadn't been hurt yet.
Right.
So it was like, ugh, how dare you? And no, I changed my mind. Goodbye.
So you still had a conscience.
Yeah.
At that point.
I still got one now. I think, to be honest, because I'm just so different, I think now that I've been hurt, I have even more of a conscience now. Because, like, I don't want to make somebody feel how I have felt.
But you know what's crazy too? Like when that guy or that person, because I've been hurt too, so I know how that feels. But when that person comes along and you've been so hurt and so devastated, but here's the person for you, and you don't let him in because you don't trust. You know, you don't want to open your heart because you have to have a certain amount of vulnerability to love somebody.
Definitely.
Because you trust in them with your heart, your time, your peace. You mentioned that before. You want your peace.
Yes.
You know, and so you're trusting them with all of this, but you've been so hurt and devastated. It's like, oh, okay, here come the representative again. So we're going to deal with this for a year or two, and then the real person going to come out, and here I go again, starting over.
And that's why you got to take things slow. Like the next person that I'm with, I want them to be my best friend. I want us to be able to. I want him to see me on my bad days. Like, these motherfuckers get on my nerves. Or I want him to see me when I've accomplished something. I want him to see me if I'm sad about something. If you know what I'm saying, I want him to see all sides of me and vice versa. Because, you know, when you're with somebody and you're just like, oh, this person looks good, they're about to be my man. But you don't know what his mad looks like. You don't know what his sad looks like. Can you handle that? You know what I mean? So
I tell people all the time, you never really know somebody till you're in a crisis with them.
Yeah.
You know, and I just say that over and over again because a lot of people, they love somebody, they get into a crisis, and they either turn and run away from each other, they point fingers and they blame each other, or you can turn toward one another. and that's the difficult thing during a crisis, you know, to turn toward one another. And you have to learn how to do that.
You have to want to, too.
Yeah.
Like, you have to, when you're with your friend, if your friend becomes your lover, you're friends at that point. So you care about how that person feels. You care about what you say to her. I remember my second boyfriend. Will I say that was the worst relationship I had?
Was it the worst? You were so young. You're still very young. So how
I've been in 3 relationships.
3 serious relationships.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so my second one, our goods were amazing, but our bads were horrible.
The roller coaster.
Yeah. So when I first got with him and I thought I was so in love, you know, in the beginning stages, he would piss me off so bad. And I would want to say certain things, but because I loved him, I wouldn't say certain things. You know what I'm saying? So when you are somebody's friend first, you care about stuff like that. When you just with somebody for the physicality of it, or they're a good look or beneficial to you for some money or something like that, you don't care what you say to that person or do to that person. You will come back and apologize so you can keep that good thing going or whatever, but you don't really care when you snap out.
Yeah, you'll spaz out on somebody you really don't care about. See, and that's the thing between like and love.
Yeah,
because love sometimes it seems kind of generic. We just throw it out there. I love you. I love y'all. You know,
that's the problem.
Yeah, but when you really, really like somebody, you want to be around them. You don't want to see them hurt. You want to support them, you know, because you sincerely like them. That's your buddy. That's your best friend.
Yeah,
and there's nothing better than that, to have that person as a lover, as a spouse, you know, as a mate, you know. And I think that's very important. And we kind of get the two confused. You know, what's more important, like or love? And I say like every day, all day, you know. So, but, you know, men get hurt too. You know, I've been married twice. My first marriage, I ran it into the ground. It was a good woman, you know, but I was very, very young. I still had to sow some royal oats, as they say, coming to America. So I had to go out there and just sling my thing in the streets. You know, I was just in the streets.
And I know you now, so I could just imagine you back then.
TheeEnicole, I was a hot mess, you know, and, you know, I would come home and stuff and she'd be crying and stuff. And of course, I'm lying. I'm with my boys. I'm with the fellas and stuff like that. And I thank God that we're such
Talking
good
about black men don't cheat.
I don't know where that came from, but I'm so thankful that we're such close friends today because we have children and grandchildren together, and we just spent Thanksgiving together, me and my first wife, and my ex-mother-in-law. So we all one big family,
Could you ever go back?
We don't talk about that. She has her significant other right now. I'm currently
and you still slanging it in the street.
Now, when I do a thing like that,
yes.
But
now let me give my disclaimer. I know Alex very, very well now, and he's a good person. And now that he's backsliding, let's all say a prayer for him.
Yeah, you're going to call the Lord, the angels down on me. Go do it. May the Lord come down upon me.
Good thing your name start with an A, because you'll be a little higher on the list.
Oh, yeah, I'll be first on the list with the A. Oh, my goodness. Now, the second marriage, I learned so much from the first marriage that I did my very best in the second marriage, not to have fidelity as an issue, not to have name calling as an issue, not to have physical fighting as an issue. All these things were issues in my first marriage, and so I made a concerted effort not to have them things happen in my second marriage. She has passed on now, so I'm not going to disparage her in any kind of way, but I was cheated on. For whatever the reasons. I mean, she was a good woman too. She was a good woman.
Karma.
Yeah. That's what I say. But she was a very good woman. We had a daughter together. I'm raising our daughter now. She's still a minor. But yeah, I just believe it was karma. Because she was a good woman. She was a good person. And I think as human beings, we have our frailties, and that's what I learned, to never say what you won't do.
Man,
a lot, man. TheeEnicole, say that again. Let me,
I said a whole bunch of stuff I would never do. I'd never say that again. I'd tell people, you don't know what you will do until you're in a situation.
That's it. Never say never, as they say. You know what I mean? So I learned never to say never, because we have our plans, and whatever your belief system is, whatever your spiritual order is, or whatever, we have our plans. The Creator has His own plans. And since we didn't create all this is not our thing. We didn't create none of this. We don't have no dominion over this.
And it's definitely no instruction book.
No, and not at all.
Well, the Bible, but
that's one book that we really have access to. There's so many different doctrines and things that are written. There's stuff inside the Egyptian pyramids. I
want God to speak to me so I can write another version.
Right. Yeah.
Like, you nigga shall not, and the wilt's not.
TheeEnicole, I'm sure he speaks to you every day. All of us. He speaks to us every day. Remember the old cartoons where they had an angel over here and a devil on their shoulder? That's what it is. That's God speaking to us, and that's Satan speaking to us. And who are we going to listen to every day?
Yeah. And that's why you have to be spiritual, because there's different voices. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And you have to be the one to decipher what you're going to do. You know what I'm saying? Because, you could think that's God telling you to do something. It could be the devil telling you to do something, but then you have your own thoughts too.
Right.
So
right. You might be like, listen, I hear both of y'all, but I'm gonna do what I want to do.
Right.
You know what I mean? You have the deciding factor, and that's the whole thing about free will. That our Creator gives us a free will to do what we want to do, right, wrong, or indifferent.
I just wish people were more responsible with their free will.
And that's why, I tell people all the time, sowing and reaping is undefeated.
I got a phrase for that.
What?
I always say that the streets say what goes around comes around. The Bible says you reap what you sow. They both can't be lying.
Right. They're not. TheeEnicole, that's universal law.
Yeah.
What you put out, you will get back. You just said to me a minute ago, because I ran around so much on my first wife and didn't on my second, I got cheated on. What's first thing out your mouth? Karma.
Yeah. And do you like Mike Epps?
Yeah, I do. Mm-hmm.
I just said this to my brother on a live earlier today. And I said, you know what? He had a joke, and he said, my karma come immediately. I know in some people, you be like, when will they karma ever come? Like, it seemed like they karma will never come. They just out here doing whatever. But as soon as I do a little something, my consequences are immediately. So I try to do the right thing. And it's hard. It is hard to do the right thing. It's hard to have integrity. Yeah. It is hard to not, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's easier to go about things being sneaky. But do I want to live that way? No.
Yeah.
Do I want to be known for that? No.
It's hard for me right now. And I work on this all the time. See, knowing what the issue is half the battle, right? Mm-hmm. It's hard for me to forgive a motherfucker. You know, it's hard for me not to hate somebody that I know just a dirty individual. I'm like, I hate this, you know, but I don't want to feel that way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, you have these people where if they was on fire, I wouldn't even piss on them. That's how bad I just despise them, you know? And it's like,
you gotta forgive.
I know,
TheeEnicole, to be forgiven. And when you forgive, it's not for them, it's for you.
Yeah, I keep hearing that. I'm not sure if I totally agree with it.
It really is. Listen,
but, you know,
I just told you that one of my exes sent me and my child death threats.
Mm-hmm.
I could have went and did something, but for what?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, my friends was like, that's serious. You know, I did what I needed to do.
You got to protect yourself. Yeah, you got to protect yourself.
I did what I needed to do. But as far as using any energy to go against or let a motherfucker know, no.
Yeah.
And guess what?
What?
I know that hurt them more.
Yeah.
Than I pay them dust.
You know what I found hurt them more? When you go on and do better and prosper without them.
Yes.
They just hate you so much. Because it's like,
me.
Right. You see what I'm saying? It's like I'm doing well. I'm making movies. I'm healthy.
Yeah.
You know, I'm a likable guy. I'm a very affable guy. You know, people love me, whatever. And they mad at that. If y'all knew the real Alex, y'all wouldn't even think it. You know, because they're angry and bitter. You know, so but I that's why I try not to hold on to that, because it poisons your whole system. It poisons your psyche, your biology, the stress level in your body, you know, all that hatred and unforgiveness. So I've been,
you know what I say to that?
What?
When people say things like you used to, or I'm not her anymore.
Right.
I'm really not that girl anymore.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it's okay. Yes, I did all of that.
Right.
Would I do it today? No. Would I might have did something a little differently? Maybe so, or maybe not. Because do you remember what you did?
Right.
But I'm not that person today.
Yeah. Malcolm X said, don't be angry at somebody for not knowing what you know today, because there was a time when you didn't know what you know today.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Right. So you have to take that to heart, you know, and understand that you yourself have needed forgiveness for something.
Yeah.
We're not angels, you know. Definitely so if I needed forgiveness, particularly with my first wife, if she can forgive me today and be best friends with me, and sometimes she called me, we'll talk for an hour, 2 hours. We talk more now and say I love you more now than we did when we were together.
Yeah.
But that's her forgiving me, because she had, I don't know how she did it. Because I probably, you know how men are, our egos are so fragile.
That and she's probably so blessed for that.
Right. Because if she had done to me what I did to her, I probably still today. I can't stand that bitch. I don't want that bitch near me.
Meanwhile, you did everything first.
I did everything first.
You niggas.
You see what I'm saying? So, but thankfully, we're not like that. So forgiveness is possible. Absolutely. Yeah. You know what I mean? And particularly when you're trying to set an example for the younger children, for kids, you know, for us being around our children, our grandchildren, we showing our children that you can have a breakup and still be friends and still have your family and still do that kind of thing. You don't have to be intimate and be chasing one another and worry about who one another ends up with and all that. Because if you really love somebody, you want them to be happy, whether they're with you or not. Yeah. You know, I learned that as I've gotten older. You know,
Yeah.
stop making everything about you.
Yeah.
It's not about you. You know,
And I feel like when you really love somebody, or I don't know if it's just me. I don't think that it's just me though. When I feel like I really love somebody, I put them before me. I put all of their needs and wants before mine. And I have really set myself back doing that because I'll put myself on the back burner for my man. Like, but that's not healthy either.
Yeah, it's not because you put yourself first, they'll turn around and put you last.
Exactly.
You know, you put them first, and they'll put you last, and it's like, who's taking care of you?
Exactly.
You know
Me.
what I mean? So what is
I be Scarface. Who do
right.
I trust? Me.
Right. Exactly. You know, what is your love language? Everybody have different love languages.
I think
I'll start. For me, quality time with the person that you care for is crucial. You know, doing simple stuff. You know, we always make big deals about fancy and expensive dinners, and no, just being together. You know, watching a movie, laying on the couch. Intimate touch for me is because I'm a touchy-feely. I'm a very affectionate man. So I want to be able to touch you and without you going, oh, here he come again with that touch. You know? So,
see, I don't know because for one, I don't know the whole list of that you can choose from for love languages, I guess.
Yeah, words of affirmation. There's gift giving. There are a lot of different things that you know you say
Hold on, let me do this.
Are important to you.
We'll close with this love language. Let's see.
Okay.
The love language.
Because those were mine. Words of affirmation, quality time, physical touch, intimacy. Those things are very, very important to me.
So they said that it's 5. It's only 5 love languages.
Mm-hmm.
And so I probably need all of them except for gift giving.
Gift giving, yeah.
Because I don't really care about that type of stuff. Like,
yeah.
Don't send me no flowers. Don't send me no damn chocolates. Don't send me no edible arrangements. Stale ass fruit. I don't want none of that. If you do want to give me a gift, give me some money. But I'd rather have a meaningful conversation. I'd rather go somewhere where it's just me and that person. No interruptions. Because I need that part because I'm so busy and I'm so focused. And I don't know if it's because I'm a Scorpio, but like I have the time where I want to be up under my man, but then I have the time where I want to be by myself too.
Yeah.
I want to miss him.
And your man can't be offended by that. A lot of people are offended by that. You know, you think, no, I'm going to take today just for me. What? You don't want to be around me? Did I do something? No, it's not about that. I just want to be by myself for a day.
You cannot lose your identity in somebody else.
Exactly.
And you know what? Everything that I feel like we've talked about on the unhealthy side is what keeps people in the broken place. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, I'm going to do a podcast. I'm going to close with this because I think it's very important. There's a movie called Smile. It's a horror movie. It came out a couple of months ago. I saw this movie. And although it's a horror movie, it's a very, very serious message in that film about dealing with historical trauma, you know, unresolved trauma. And I think a lot of people are walking around here with unresolved trauma that are broken. Look at all the crazy acts that are going on. I mean, the Walmart that was just shot up, that's my Walmart. I was in that Walmart 3 days a week, you know, and for people to do the things that they're doing today, these are broken people. Yeah. And it's like, we got to deal with this unresolved trauma. Yeah. And I'm going to do a video on that film. And I'm going to do a spoiler alert because I don't want to because it's been out a while. Well, you should probably, you should see it. It's streaming now. You're streaming now.
Where?
I think it's Paramount Plus or one of them. Okay. Yeah, but the movie's called Smile. I want you to watch it. I really do.
Okay, don't spoil it.
I'm not going to spoil it.
You're welcome.
But I'm gonna circle back to this and say, as we close, that it is possible to have intimacies, intercourse, and be able to detach. But for the most part, for me, women, they are, to me, for the most part, broken that can do that because of the heart connection and the vaginal connection typically are there. It's like a wire connection. And that would be my opinion. Of course, people will refute that and come back. I don't know everything, but in my experiences, that's what I've seen. That
Let us know
connection
in
is
the
strong.
comments what you guys think.
Yeah, please do.
After you head over to Alex W Leath Magnetic Repellent channel, you
Yes.
hit subscribe, you go like a few videos, and of course, you like this video and hit subscribe. But my answer is I still feel that it's the 4 spectrum type of thing. But for me personally, I don't think I could have sex with no strings attached.
There you go.
But I don't feel broken.
Well, because you said, you don't feel broken. You've dealt with your trauma.
Yeah, I've dealt with it. I'm over it. But now I'm just kind of apprehensive about taking the risk again.
But at the same time, you ain't got dudes running in and out all day long either. No. You know what I mean? So there are women that do that. To me, those are broken women.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
they feel like they're missing something.
They're missing something, yeah.
Yeah.
So, we're going to keep doing this, folks. So
yes.
Yeah.
No show alert. And you see what I have to deal with. So you better tune in because it's always going to be some gems dropped, some laughs had. And by the end of this season of this show, I'm sure some tears will fall.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
So that was our first episode, guys. And please, please, please make sure that you hit that like button. Make sure that you subscribe to both this channel and Magnetic Repellent. And in the chat, there's a whole bunch of good content creators over there in the chat as well. We got Sonya G, Madam Oracle. We have actually Aubrey, High Vibe. So
yeah, good chat tonight.
Yeah.
So, and a good video too, TheeEnicole. You know what I mean? Yeah. That's a great conversation. A lot to unpack. I mean, we touched on a lot of different things, you know. But for me, I think the most powerful thing was the conspiracy to destroy the Black family. Yeah. And I think people take that for granted because we all want to be la, you know, we in love, we had a Black president, everything's good. And, you know, you have to remember there's a certain segment of humanity, our Caucasian brothers and sisters who are very up in age, 80, 90, 70s, who never let go of that old theology of the hatred that they have for us, and they still have it. They're going to die with it. So there's no need to try to heal them or convince them of nothing. I'm done trying to convince them of anything, old or young. You know, we're gonna be here, we're gonna be who we are, but we have to understand what's happening, okay, and be aware and not just be in la land and thinking we're gonna just skip down the road and America's good and great and all this other kind of stuff, because things are being done differently now. And sometimes they're even hiding things in plain sight. But because we just think that everything's all good because we make a lot of money now and we're driving nice cars and we're owning homes and all that, we don't see what's right before our eyes. The easiest way to hide something is to hide it in plain sight.
Yeah. Meanwhile, while you have the older ones who are still stuck on things, we have the new ones who don't even know that has happened. So they are stuck in the repercussions of that whole system, which they now need to be educated on so that they don't fall in continual traps as well.
Right. Absolutely. And I'm telling you, I mean, I know back in the day when divorce was not a common thing because women had no options and men were very, very abusive and controlling because women had no options. Okay. But at the same time, we can't just focus on that segment of marriage because there's a lot of other Black marriages and families that function very well. People weren't abusive. They got along. They stayed married for 50, 60, 70 years. Right. You know, but we always tend to focus on the negative.
Yeah. They need to be acknowledged.
Yeah.
Which brings us to what you brought up at the end of the video. You guys, we need you guys to go check out the movie Smile.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And it's very entertaining. If you like horror movies, it's going to make you jump a couple of times, which I love that because I'm a big horror fan. It's hard to make me jump. So it got me a couple of times. But at the end of the day, the message there, and we spoke about this on Sonya G's channel last night. I was on there with Chris and It's J Dub and Sonya G was moderating and doing that whole thing. And it was a great experience. And Chris has said that, the movie hit him. It struck him in a certain kind of way. And if you really get the message, it will strike you in a certain way and make you say, I got to go back and look at some stuff, because that's what it did for me. And that's why I covered it on my channel.
And so this is old school versus new school. So we're giving y'all some homework, y'all, for next week. 2 things. I'm giving you 2 assignments on the first day of class. Yes, didn't y'all hate that teacher that on the first day of class she gave y'all some homework? Well, I'm that girl today. So the first assignment is go over, check out Sonya G's conversation. It was very, very insightful about men's mental health. And then number 2 is check out that movie so we can talk about it next week.
Right. And check out the movie before you see my commentary if you can. And then go to Magnetic Repellent, subscribe, like, leave a comment. But watch my deep dive into the movie Smile. That's what the video was called, a deep dive into the movie Smile. And that's on my channel.
Yeah, so watch that video, watch those videos so you can kind of get some context of what we're going to be talking about next week, because it really is quite deep. And I thank everybody for being here, whether you're watching it live or you're watching the playback. And we're going to have some nice little conversations.
Yes, I appreciate you having me too. I want to say that. I want to give you your flowers now. Something else we spoke about on Sonya G's channel last night, giving people their flowers, while they're above ground. You know what I mean? So giving you your flowers now. You're doing a lot. You're very talented, very gifted person, very beautiful person, and I just want to give you your flowers and appreciate you for having me on your channel.
Oh, thanks. He brought his apple to class today, y'all.
No worm in it. No worm in it either.
Yeah, so make sure y'all hit that like button and come on back next week on Monday at 7 o'clock so we can drop some more gems. We love y'all. Y'all have a great week.